everyone. All right, well, thank you and welcome folks to our Partners for Innovative Communities meeting for December, our holiday themed meeting that we have today. We're also going to have some activities and fun games that pertain to this season. I want to thank you for joining us, as we know that for December we usually change the meeting date. As mentioned earlier, this meeting is also being recorded for those of you who were unable to join due to the change, and we'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us. So our Partners for Innovative Communities meeting, our mission is to empower communities by increasing the capacity to create healthy and safe environments through policy design, partnerships, and collaboration. So as always, we really value the partnerships that we've developed throughout the years and your continued participation in these meetings. Once again, welcome and thank you for joining. So a little review of our agenda. I believe the agenda is also going to be dropped in the chat, but here's a little bit about what we will be doing today. So we have, per usual, our welcome and introductions, as we like to get to know who's in the room and, if we have any new members joining us. We'll also talk a little bit about our PSA, our public service announcement for National Impaired Driving Month, which is December and is also the topic or theme for the discussions that we'll be having today. We'll provide an update on our work groups. As you know, this larger meeting is held every other month, and on the off months, we have work group meetings where we strive to meet the goals and deliverables set in those smaller work groups that will support the efforts of this larger collaborative. We will also then do our roundtable to talk about what's going on, how we can support one another, and just to be aware of the different programs and events that are happening. Okay, so as we do our introductions, if you could please just state your name and your organization. You're also welcome to drop it in the chat so we have a record of who's in attendance, and we can go ahead and introduce ourselves that way. I can get started by introducing myself, and then maybe we can have the team do introductions. My name's Teresa Fernandez. I'm the director for the Community Health and Policy Department, and I obviously work for Reach Out. I'll turn it over to Tanisha.
Hi, my name is Tanisha Atwell. I'm one of the Community Health and Policy Program Managers here at Reach Out. Great to see you. And I'll popcorn it on over to Daryl.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daryl. I'm Outreach and Media Specialist for Reach Out. And Elvia, you want to go next?
Good afternoon. My name is Elvia Garcia, and I am a Program Support Specialist for the Community Health and Policy Department. I am going to turn it on over to Mariana.
Hi, I'm Mariana. I'm Outreach Specialist with Reach Out in the Low Desert. And I will hand it over to Yadira.
Hello, my name is Yadira Sanchez. I am the Program Support Specialist for DSC and FCC Weston and Healthy Urupa Valley, and my organization is Reach Out as well. And I'll go ahead and popcorn it to Rachel.
Hello, I'm Rachel Carmona, and I wear many hats under the umbrella of a community advocate. And I'm not sure who's left.
Daryl, did you already have a chance? You did? Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you, Rachel, and thank you everyone else for your introductions. Did everyone have a chance to go ahead and introduce themselves? Just want to make sure we didn't miss anyone. Great. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, so as mentioned, December is National Impaired Driving Month, and for that, we actually have some activities planned ahead to talk a little bit more and guide us into the conversation of this month's theme. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little PSA that was developed by our team. Hopefully the sound is working and you all can hear this.
Take your time, call a ride, and always be smart. Drive sober. A reminder from your friends at ReachOut. we-reachout.org.
How about that? I hope that that's something that you liked. Our team was able to put that together. Nice voiceover done by our very own Daryl, and also the content he was able to create as well. So we're very excited to launch this as part of a campaign that we're working with other partners in the county, so that we are able to promote National Impaired Driving Month, and also, encourage folks to stay safe during the holidays. And so this is a great PSA that is going to be available for our partners to share. We'll be posting it on our social media. So you're welcome to share, like, comment, please. Help us get the word out. And as well, it also does link to our website, which will have additional resources that people can peruse and learn more about our different programs and what we have to offer. So this is a great opportunity not only to promote staying safe and sober throughout the holidays, but also encouraging folks to receive different resources that are offered through Reach Out. So please help share, like, comment. We can always share this directly to you if you're interested in receiving it that way as well. There we go. Moving on, I'd like us to take part now in a fun game to see how much we know about impaired driving, how much we know about talking to our youth about impaired driving. We as a coalition and as an organization strive to educate and decrease access to alcohol, decrease access to other substances to our youth and young adults. So it's important that we stay informed. It's important that we know how to talk to them, whether they be youth in our families, whether they be youth that we're serving, in general in the community. It's important for them to know that we care. It's important for them to know the facts, and that we're informed as well, that we have the facts, that we're able to communicate and convey to them the importance of staying sober and staying safe. So we have a fun game ahead, a Kahoot game, and I believe Elvia will be sharing her screen for this. So Elvia, if you wouldn't mind walking us through on how to log on and what we need to do to get ready to play.
Awesome. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I have put the game pin in the chat for everybody to join. And what you should be seeing is a login, and then you'll all be able to join in the same room here. Let me just make sure you guys can all see my screen. Perfect. We have Daryl and Sunflower. We are waiting for a couple more members. If you have any difficulty joining, please let us know in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself, and that way we can guide you to join this game. Once everybody is joined, please let me know, but we do have a couple more members who need to join.
So all we need to do is go to kahoot.it and then enter the pin, correct?
Great. Yes, exactly.
Great. I think we're ready to get started. All right. I hope everyone's ready. All right. So do you know how to talk to youth about impaired driving? All right. So we're going to Kahoot to learn a little bit more about how to keep our youth safe. This is a multi-select question. So when is the right time to talk to youth about impaired driving? Never. When they ask to borrow the car? When you're running errands? Or when you're at the dinner table? When is the best time to talk to youth about impaired driving? And remember, this is a multi-select, so you can answer more than one. All right, great. So always, right? Opposite of the first question, it's always a good time to talk to youth about impaired driving because it's entirely preventable, right? So the more that we talk to them about the facts, the more we're informed about the facts, and we're able to communicate with our youth about the dangers of drinking and driving or just being under the influence of other substances is extremely important. It's always a good time to talk to them about the dangers. So great job, everyone. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Tanisha's in the lead. Great job, Tanisha. Excellent. All right. So true or false? Marijuana use is increasing. Is that true or false? True. Wow, that one was quicker than the other one. Great job. Everybody did get that correct as well. It is increasing. It has increased 13%. And it's also being seen that weekend and nighttime drivers who are involved in accidents have had marijuana in their system. So that is something that we're seeing. Let's go on to the next one. All right, T. Okay, so a little bit of education and information here. What is an exit plan? Some kids may not know what to do if a friend or family member who's under the influence of alcohol or other drugs offers them a ride. So it's important to explain to them that it's okay to say no and help them think through an exit strategy. So an exit plan is an exit strategy to knowing what to do when they're offered a ride by someone who's under the influence. Okay. All right, again, another multi-select. So what are good exit plan ideas? Call a relative or friend for a ride home. Call home before getting in a car with a driver who's under the influence. Calling a rideshare service such as Uber or Lyft, or getting in the car with a driver who's under the influence and buckling up. What are good exit plan ideas? Great, so we have calling a relative or friend before, to have them take them home, or calling a rideshare service. The other questions where they're getting in a car with someone who's impaired, perhaps not the best. We want to make sure that they're opting out of that option and getting a ride from someone who is sober, not getting into that vehicle, calling a rideshare service, but making sure that they're not getting in the car with someone who is under the influence. Oh, Yadi's going up. Great job. Let's go on to our next question. So on average, how many people are injured in a drug driving crash? Drunk driving. I apologize for the typo. You got our numbers here: 250, 800, 300, 1,500. On average, how many people on a drunk driving? Apologize for the typo. And it is 800. Wow, 2 of you guessed that correct. That's awesome. I wouldn't have known. And I see a couple of you also guessed a higher number. So on average, it's 800 people that are injured in a drunk driving crash per day. That's a big number. All right. We're moving on up. True or false? About 1 in 14 car crashes involves an underage drinking driver. Underage drinking driver. True. So 1 in 4 teen crashes involve an underage driver who is under the influence. True. Excellent. Let's go on to the next question. Multi-select. How do you show youth that you care about them? You explain why you're talking to them about staying safe. you assume they're going to drive drunk or drug impaired, you ground them, or you listen to them. And this is a multi-select, so please go ahead and select the best answers. Perfect. Yes, explaining to them that you're talking to them because you care about their safety is extremely important, and not just saying do this, do that, but it's making sure that they understand the reason why we're providing them the information that we have, listening to them. I'm glad no one selected assuming that they're going to be drinking and driving, and grounding them, you know, that one depends how you look at it, but from the perspective of the youth, perhaps they might not perceive or interpret that as a sign of you caring about them. They might be resistant to that at first. So having those conversations, that openness, and really talking to them about the facts, as we saw earlier, it's always a good time to talk to them, and sharing the information that we have. Some of the statistics that were in here are important to share, as well as some that we're going to be learning a little bit later on. If we could go on to the next. Oh, this is our podium. So let's see how we did. Sunflower got 3rd place. In 2nd is Yadi. And then our number 1, we have T. Congratulations, confetti to you all. Great job. And hopefully this Kahoot was informational as well, you know, an opportunity for us to have a little fun as we learn more about statistics of impaired driving and what we can do to support our youth. Thank you for sharing that, Elvia. Let me go ahead and now go back and share my screen. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And I believe I'm going to turn it on over to the team. I'm not sure if Elvia or Daryl is going to take it on from here.
I could take it from here. Thank you so much, Teresa. So we are just going to share some statistics from this year, actually, provided by the California Highway Patrol. They recently put out that they made over 1,000 arrests for impaired driving during Thanksgiving. So that's Thanksgiving this year. So over 1,000 arrests this year alone. And they also found that this was a 17% increase from Thanksgiving of last year. Unfortunately, the pandemic has modified, has changed the way that we live. I know that last year we were a little bit more in a more strict lockdown, which may be the reason why it's reflecting this number, but that is still an increase, and our goal is to decrease in that increase. Do you want to go on to the next one, please, Teresa? They also reported in the same day that unfortunately, this past Thanksgiving alone, 57 people were killed in crashes on the state's roadways during CHP's patrol. So that's this past Thanksgiving, unfortunately, 57 people, which is a 14% increase from the same period last year. Again, we want to reduce that as much as possible, and 57 is still too high of a number for this stuff to be happening. We want to make sure that we are doing our best to prevent this number from going up at all. The next one, please, Teresa. Generally speaking, around 29 people in the US alone, so just in the US, die in motor vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol impaired driver. So this is just a statistic to reflect the number of alcohol related crashes, and this is not to include any other substances that people may be under while they get behind the wheel. So all in all, that is 10,000 people each year. So that is, again, a very, very high number. Unfortunately, 29 every day shouldn't be commonplace. And we want to, again, reduce that. So Teresa, do you want to go to the next one, please? And if you do want to click the graphic, you should be able to play it. There is no noise. But this was provided to us by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. So on top of bodily injury and personal injury that you can have during crashes and that you can inflict on somebody else, a DUI can set you back at least $10,000 in attorney's fees, fines, court costs, a lost time at work, high insurance rates, and more. Not to forget that when you are in a car accident, that there is also damage done to property, and that number could easily increase depending on the severity of the car crash. So we just want to make sure that as a little reindeer and Santa friends say, plan for a sober ride home if you are going to be partaking in any substance use, whether that be alcohol or otherwise. Again, we want to prevent, especially our youth. We want to make sure that they are very well aware of the consequences, because it's easy for us to lecture and say, well, don't do it. But I think when you put numbers to it, it really makes it a little bit more real. It makes the consequences a little bit more real. Teresa, do you want to go on to the next slide, please? And that is it for that. If you go on to the next slide, I'm going to pass it on over to you, Teresa.
Great. Perfect. I wasn't sure if there was another one there. Thank you for that information, Elvia. Completely agree that the more information that we're able to provide our youth regarding the consequences, the more that's going to stay as they're making decisions. So thank you for providing all of that information, Elvia. So we do have a call to action. We saw earlier in the Kahoot question set there, it's important to have an exit strategy or an exit plan for our youth when they are found in situations of maybe they're trying to get home with someone who might be impaired. So here are some of the things that we can do, right? We can designate a sober driver. We can call a cab or Lyft or Uber. Stay at home, maybe stay at a friend's house or a family member's house if you're not able to get home. Calling a friend or family member is also an option for them to come and pick you up. And if you do have a plan to use some kind of substance, to plan ahead for having a sober driver, someone who can take you home, that might, you might be able to hand your keys over to ahead of time if you're planning on maybe having a drink or two or something. So this is information that we're hoping that as our partners here, that you'll be able to share with your participants in your programs, with your family members, with youth that are in your lives, so that we can save lives, right? We want to make sure that this holiday season, we're not contributing to the statistics, that we're not contributing to the accidents, to the fatality, and that we're staying safe. So our call to action today is that if you have the opportunity to talk to someone, if you have the opportunity to create a social media post or connect with someone about these strategies, that you do so. And if someone has, additional strategies, you're welcome to come off mute. We can have a little conversation right now of what other things we can do to encourage staying safe during the holidays. Does anyone have any other ideas or suggestions? You're also welcome to type it in the chat if you feel more comfortable including it there. And if not, that's entirely fine. We will have some resources that we'll be able to share in our follow-up with you all. And there are already lots of existing resources and information that we can tap into. If we do have additional questions, our team is always here for support as well. If you do have any questions or concerns that you'd like to discuss offline, you're welcome to contact us, and anyone in our team can gladly help you with that.
Teresa, I would like to add that Mariana added in the chat to pre-advocate about driving clean before holidays. So if you have opportunities to talk to your family members, to offer a ride, just say, hey, I'm available if you guys need a ride home. I think that's a really great point, Mariana. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. And that's being a great advocate, right? So it's not waiting until someone comes to you, but offering yourself up as a resource. I think that's a great suggestion. Thank you for that. And I'm sorry, I'm not able to pull up the chat right now. I have multiple screens. Was there anything else that came in?
Yes, just one more from Yadira. She said, if you are going out in a group and you're planning to drink, make sure you have a designated driver. Great point, Yadira. Oftentimes, we all want to participate. If you have a group of people who wants to all participate, it's great to assign one person to make sure that everybody gets home safely. Having those conversations with your friends should not be hard, but feel free to pick up on some of those strategies and just make sure that you advocate for yourself as well as for your friends. And that is it in the chat.
Thank you so much for that, Elvia, and those of you who contributed your suggestions. And it's extremely important that we're having these conversations ahead of time, right? Because impaired, right? The word is there. So oftentimes when we try to have conversations with folks after they have already consumed, whether it be alcohol or some other substance, they might have an impairment with making those decisions. So it's important to have the conversations ahead of time so that if we need to collect keys, if we need to have a plan, that there's already an agreement ahead of time to make it that much easier when, it's time to have that exit strategy. And Rachel, I see that you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had it added it in the chat, but I don't think it was seen. Is there any way that, or do you have already a flyer for Reach Out that, sorry, my voice is not what it should be. A flyer of some type that we can post on social media listing these things?
So I believe Daryl will be talking a little bit later on about some information that he has created.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we will be sharing that with all of our committee members so that everyone can have access to that.
Perfect.
Thank you for the question. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be providing a list of different resources, not necessarily the ones that Reach Out has created, but there's lots of great content out there that we'll share with everyone as well to have. Thank you for the question. All right, so I'll go ahead and move on to Reach Out. So we just mentioned right now we're going to talk about what we're doing. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Daryl to share how we are being involved in this campaign. Daryl?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Teresa. So we have some upcoming DUI checkpoints that we've partnered with some local law enforcement agencies to, I guess, in the scope of what we'll be doing is passing out some educational materials, much like what we've been discussing today. In those materials, encouraging safe and responsible alternatives, maybe supplying them access to resources and any sort of indirect education to help remind people and help them to make those healthy and safe decisions. Those checkpoints are scheduled to happen through the month of December, but because full disclosure is not at our disposal regarding where and which departments we've partnered with, but rest assured, when you see us out there on these days, we'll be doing our part and offering any alcohol and other drug presentations throughout the rest of this month as well as into January. So yeah, we'll be out there doing our thing and let everybody know after the fact how much of a difference we've been making in the community. So I'm very excited about these opportunities coming up, and we'll report back when our lips can be unsealed regarding some of those details. So back to you, Teresa.
Thank you, Daryl. Yes, and unfortunately, we're not able to share the materials. As Daryl mentioned, we, have some information that we're unable to disclose just yet in terms of which agencies we're working with, but we're really excited about this partnership. As you all may know, with Partners for Innovative Communities, we've had a long-standing relationship with our local law enforcement. So we are excited to once again join them in conducting these DUI checkpoints, and providing education and information to the folks that go through the line. Again, in an opportunity to increase awareness and inform of the different services that are available. If any of our partners have any information they'd like for us to disseminate while we're out there, we also welcome that. So if there's any information that you'd like to send our way for us to also distribute, that's also an opportunity that's available. In the future, if you're interested in partaking and joining us yourself in one of these DUI checkpoints, please let us know. Contact our team, and that might be an opportunity as well of being able to partner and working alongside each other to provide different resources to the community. It's another way to maybe reach those that normally we wouldn't be able to through an event or other function. And as Daryl did mention, those alcohol and other drug presentations are available year round. So if anyone is interested in us coming to a school, in us going and presenting, whether it be to adults or to youth, we do have those presentations tailored to different audiences, and we would be more than happy to come out and provide that support if it's needed. And we welcome any connections that any of you may be able to make for us. We know that a lot of you are, working with different schools, working with different organizations, maybe youth serving as organizations. So please reach out to us and let us know how we can partner. All right, so now I believe I'm turning it back on over to Daryl to talk a little bit more about our work group updates.
All right. So thank you again, Teresa. So reporting for our, I think, substance use prevention is at the top of the list. So one of the programs I'm sure some of you are aware that Reach Out does is PIC Leadership Academy. If you're not familiar with this program, it's a series of direct education courses that provides tools and empowerment for people 18 and over so that they become leaders and advocates in their community. We do rolling enrollment, and we are looking to get started ASAP, right meow. So send any interested persons our direction. There are lessons on public speaking, communication skills, conflict resolution, and of course, substance prevention. They also attend a PIC meeting like this one. So they are developing and practicing their leadership skills. We are finished with updates and revisions to the program, and we've got a recruitment video for you to see after I'm done with the rest of the program updates. And you'll actually be some of the first people outside of Reach Out to see this recruitment video. It's a sneak preview, and later you'll see it in some of our social media posts, but we're ready to rock with our PIC Leadership Academy as soon as we get our candidates enrolled. Moving on to restorative justice. As far as restorative justice, we've got an update for our youth court program. There is a new probation officer assigned in the county, and we may have a possible case for us to work on. So we're very interested in developing this into a new cohort. This program is also in recruitment stage, and we're looking for high school juniors and seniors. Maybe they've got an interest in criminal justice. They'll be, of course, learning about restorative justice, court process, and they will also receive judicial training. Not to overwhelm them, but the material is preparatory and comprehensive. And really, we're aiming to inspire and prepare the next generation of Judge Judy's or Judge Mathis with this program. And maybe that's a lofty or ambitious goal of ours, but really it's a terrific opportunity for young people to make a direct impact in their community with their peers. And last but not least, Youth grant makers. In our youth grant makers program, orientation right now is to be determined so that we can remain flexible and respectful around our young people's academic schedules and their responsibilities. A big reminder with youth grant makers is when orientation is announced, orientation is mandatory for both students and their parentals so that everyone is on the same page. And that might be a grant writing pun, I'm not sure. But we already have some young people interested in this program. One of them is returning from a previous cohort. So that is definitely encouragement for us to get started. We want to jump into this very soon. It's engaging and educational, and it can change lives. So help us out and spread the word. We are excited about all of our programs and efforts, and we appreciate everything we do for each other and with our partners and our communities. So that's it for program updates. But as promised, get your bucket of popcorn ready because we have a first look at our recruitment video for PIC Leadership Academy. So I'll turn it back to
You can be a
Teresa.
leader in your community. PIC Leadership Academy, Partners for Innovative Communities, serves both Riverside and San Bernardino counties, focusing on empowerment and providing destigmatizing tools around substance use prevention. The PIC Leadership Academy is for parents and community members 18 years and older and is part of PIC's Substance Use Prevention Work Group. For more information and sign up, scan the QR code or call us at 909-982-8641 or send us an email, prevention@we-reachout.org. Reach Out, strengthening communities.
I just want to have that soundtrack playing in the background and everything I do, just kind of, I think that music makes you want to do anything. So who wouldn't want to register for our Leadership Academy now after seeing this? That's awesome. Thank you for putting that together, Daryl. And one other thing I'll add about the youth programs that we have is that a great incentive for our youth to join is also that we do provide letters of recommendation. They can even be signed by our executive director, which I know oftentimes is very helpful for our teens who are looking into maybe going to certain universities or getting into different programs, and it just kind of builds into their resume. They're also able to get community service hours, and I might even say, depending on the activities, there might even be some stipends as a possibility. So these are great opportunities for both our youth and for our adults. Looking forward to launching these programs soon. If you do have folks who are interested, please send them our way so that we can go ahead and move forward with these activities, which are going to be just so instrumental in making a difference in our communities. Our Leadership Academy, in addition to receiving the substance use education, it really has a hands-on component of going out into the community, providing education, distributing naloxone, which is that life-saving medication that reverses opioid overdoses. There's just so much that is entailed and involved in these programs. So we really do encourage you all to spread the word so that we can together get the right folks involved and make a difference in our communities. Once again, thank you, Daryl, for providing that update. We'll go ahead and move on.
You can be.
There we go. So our roundtable, we're at our roundtable time where we share what's going on at Reach Out, where we let you know what's happening. And then also you have an opportunity to share what's going on with you. I'll go ahead and just share that in October, we had our National Take Back Day, which was an opportunity for us to collect prescriptions and medications that folks either did not need or had extra of, and they were able to return. So we did participate by providing education and lock boxes to our community members. And as usual, we do have information about our locations where we have our prescription drop boxes for folks to go in and return their prescription drugs, which I'm sure we'll be able to share in our post email that we send, and that will be available to you all. In November, our work group went dark due to the holidays, but here we are now today having our larger meeting. And in also this month on the 10th, we want to invite everyone, all of our partners, to join us in our Posada and open house, which is happening on December 10th. And that will be starting at 4 p.m. at our Upland location. We do have a flyer and information we'll also be able to send out with additional details. And that's a great opportunity for those of you who haven't had a chance to join us for a posada before. It's an opportunity to learn more about what we do as an agency. There are other departments within Reach Out who serve our parents and youth population. You'll see many of them here as they go through the different stations that we have set up. We turn our office into a winter wonderland, and we have Santa's workshop where the kids are able to come and receive some presents. There might even be a special guest called Santa that they get to take pictures with. So it's a great opportunity. If you are able to join us, and you're more than welcome to bring your family to this experience and partake in our posada and open house. So we welcome you. In January, we have our PIC work group meeting on the 26th from 12 to 1. So we're looking forward to seeing you once again on our regular schedule. As mentioned, today was a bit of a change due to the holidays, but we will be back on January 26th. So now we turn it over to you. If there's anyone on the call that has something else you'd like to share of what's going on, whether it be other Reach Out staff or our community members, you're welcome to share.
If you happen to find yourself down in the low desert on December 16th or January 21st, we have a naloxone overdose bystanders training happening in Joshua Tree, California at Copper Mountain College in room 219. First session starts at 10 a.m. and the second session is at 3:30 p.m. So if you happen to find yourself down this way, please join us. And everyone leaves with a certificate and a naloxone kit with instructions on how to use it. And also, if you happen to find yourself wandering around 29 Palms, in particular, you will be having our poster posted all over the town. That's the goal, is to have it all over town. But we've gotten permission from one of the highly frequented bars here to post our Drive Safe, Be Smart, Drive Clean poster. And we will also have it posted in the local bowling alley. And we want to get it in places where people are making that decision. Of course, we want to catch them way earlier than that, but we definitely want to get in those places where people are making that decision. So hopefully they can stop, think, and make better choices. So that's the goal for us. So if you happen to find yourself down in 29 Morongo Basin area, Yucca Valley, or Joshua Tree, please stop by.
Thank you, Mariana. The desert's a great holiday destination. So I'm sure many people will be around that area. So thank you for sharing. Anyone else? And if not right now, you're welcome to send us any flyers that you have, any information that you'd like for us to disseminate to our larger distribution list, we're more than happy to do that as well. So feel free. You could either send it to prevention@we-reachout.org, or we will be providing our contact information on the final slides. Okie doke. So now we have another fun activity. Again, I mentioned in the beginning that we wanted to keep today a little bit light, considering that we have, our holidays coming up. So I'll turn it over to Elvia to facilitate this activity.
This is our holiday Pictionary. So the way that it's going to work is going to be purely based off emojis. Using the emojis, you're going to guess the holiday song that they are referencing to. So if you want to go to the next slide, please, Teresa, we can get started. You can all drop your guesses in the chat, but if you want to just unmute, I think that would be wonderful as well. We can get some guesses out there. For number 1, does anybody have any guesses?
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Way to go, Rachel. She got that real fast.
I have a request. Do people have to sing the song in order to get the point?
My voice is up.
I'm kidding. Great job.
What about for number 2? Does anybody have any guesses? I think at this point, it's best if we just all unmute. That way we don't miss anybody in the chat.
I'm home for Christmas.
Oh.
Ariana, I don't know what that one sounds like. Can you give us a little sample?
There's the thing I have with Christmas music. I know the names, I don't know the tune. I'll be home for Christmas. Is that what it is?
Oh, yes.
I'll be home for Christmas. I think that's what I know.
I love it. Thank you so much, Mariana. Okay, what about for number 3? I think this
Frosty the
was
Snowman.
way to go, Rachel. I know that one. It goes Frosty the Snowman.
Right. Just a reminder that this meeting's recorded, so any of these great singing samples we have
Will and be used against you.
we can use these any time of the year now.
It's gonna be a holiday in July, according to Daryl. Okay, what about number 4?
Oh, the Silent Night.
Silent Night, yeah.
Silent Night. Correct. I will make you sing it. Thank you for the reminder, Daryl. If you want to go to the next one, we can do our second round.
They're used to me.
Okay, for number 5, does anybody want to guess this? This was a pretty popular one.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Awesome, Tanisha. So I also overheard it. My partner here, Yadira, sing it. She sung it very silently, but she is muted. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. What about number 6? When I first saw that one stumped me.
Jingle bells? I don't know.
Silver Bell.
Silver Bells.
Silver bell. Oh yeah.
You got it, Mariana.
Look at that teamwork. Okay, number 7.
I Sleep Square Tree.
I've never heard that song before.
I feel like it has something to do with the song. It's like, I see you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. But I don't know what song that is.
Yeah, this one's hard.
Is that not Jingle Bells, Tanisha?
You better not.
Could be.
I don't think this one is Jingle Bells. Okay, I'm gonna give everybody a little bit more time.
I sleep in a box under the tree.
That's right. That's the Christmas class. I sleep
Yes.
in a box under the tree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it.
This one is actually I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. To be fair, I don't know that song either, but this is a good Pictionary. I think these emojis do a really good job. Okay, and the last one, number 8.
Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh,
She beat you to it, Mariana.
Ding,
We're
ding,
good,
ding.
Teresa.
I was singing it. Jingle bell, jingle bell.
Okay, awesome. We have one more round, the final round. Does anybody want to take a stab at number 9?
That's a classic back in the Midwest where I come from.
Sing it for us, Daryl.
That one's Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
It's a very sad song. Very sorry for Grandma.
Oh my gosh, I just got the last 4 and I was on mute.
Rachel.
I literally had the last 4 in a row and I was on mute.
Can you guess number 10, Rachel?
Yes, chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh, that one's a classic. I feel like that one makes you feel like cozy inside, you know, not maybe physically, because obviously it's California. So, you know, there's not a lot of open fires, but I like the tune of that one.
That's
I
not.
saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, number 11.
Yeah, correct. Way to go, Rachel. The
There we
last
go.
Welcome to the
one.
world.
Yeah.
Mariana was not going to get left behind. She said, I know.
Yes. I was like, get me in here.
Okay, so I think for the ending of this game, the total is that I think Rachel and Mariana are at a tie here. We don't have any tiebreakers, so we'll just consider you both winners. You guys are really great at this, and you guys know all the songs. I love that. So I think that is it for our Pictionary. I'm going to quickly launch. I think I have a poll. I have a scorecard. I'm going to launch it. So if you can please take it, and then I'm going to hand it back over to Teresa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elvia. That was fun. And I was stumped on a couple of them. I'm glad to see that others, though, are better at their holiday song trivia. So great job and congratulations. I'll pause here for a little bit to give everyone a time to fill out the scorecard, as we're right on time, it seems like. So we can go ahead and just give people a minute. And I'm not sure if it will let me know once everyone's filled it out, but let me take a look.
We're still waiting on a few people.
Great. And filling out the scorecard really does help us. It's information that we track, we log, and we're able to look back and make edits, improvements to our meetings. And it also gives us an opportunity to take a look at what direction the coalition is heading and where folks want to go, what types of things they want to work on. If there's information that you want to share that's not asked in the survey, you're more than welcome to also either schedule a call with us or send us an email to have those discussions. This is a coalition that's not intended for reach out to run, but for our members to be actively involved in. And as mentioned earlier, we do have our work groups where we, where the work really happens and where folks are able to engage in those programs and activities. So again, if there's information that wasn't asked in the scorecard and you want to see something different, please do reach out to us and let us know. How are we doing, Elvia, in terms of our responses?
Waiting on a few more responses, but I think we can close the poll now. Do you want to move on to the next slide? That way everybody has our contact information.
Perfect.
I do want to add that if you have not yet turned in a membership form, now is a great time to do so. Next year, we have a lot of things. We get the ball rolling on a lot of things this year so that next year is very fruitful. So please, 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 if you are interested in becoming a member, I will drop the form and I will be sending out this form in a follow-up as well. So again, if you have any questions, you can contact us there.
And with that, that concludes our meeting. I know we wrapped up a little bit early today, which hopefully gives you back a little more time to do other things. So we're glad that you were able to join us today. And those of you that are watching the recording, thank you so much for continuing to stay engaged and following up with the happenings of Reach Out and the Partners for Innovative Communities Coalition. If there are no other questions, I'd like to wish everyone happy holidays. Hopefully we get to see you at our Posada and open house December 10th, and looking forward to catching up again in the new year. So thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to staying in contact with you all. Have a good one.